I'll start by clearing something up. I'm still not 15 yet. That happens next month. But good try. I got a call about a week before April 21st. And it was my good friend Pam who actually put this all together. And she says, guess what we're doing? We're making this video called Be the Change. And we're trying to inspire youth to send their messages out to the world. We want to know what goes on inside their heads, not just the skateboarding and the low pants. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. It's summertime, whatever. And then she calls me again. And she says, I actually want you to be the youth ambassador for TEDxSunRiver. And I said, sure, I'll do it. I don't care. I don't have anything else to do. And then she goes, and then I want you to give a speech on June 23rd, which is today. And she says, about the experience that you had making the Be the Change video. And I thought, I'm going to tell a bunch of people in front of me and worldwide about the St. George heat. I, that day, had made the horrible decision to wear my hair down. And it was just a hot and miserable day. And it was at a water park. So the humidity, and everybody that knows me personally knows that I hate humid things. I just hate them. They don't work for me. So I thought, that's going to be a horrible speech. It's not going to work for me. And she goes, oh, you'll get what I mean. So I went to school the next day, and I spoke to the vice principal, and he says, in order to get anything like this going, you have to make permission slips and flyers. But they have to be official, and you have to send them to the school superintendent. And he has to say they're okay. So I did that the next day, and the school superintendent said they were fine, and they were fabulous. And that's when I started talking to classes and teachers and just my friends and relatives even. And I told them to be at the Main Street Park at 1 p.m. on Saturday. I got to the Main Street Park at about 12:40 with my friend and my cousin, and we waited about 20 minutes, and nobody showed up. None of the teachers that said they would be there, none of my friends, none of the random people that I talked to, none of the family members, just my parents who had to drop us off and then they had to go and run some errands, and my cousin. And that was when I started to learn my lesson. We had a quick meeting and we said, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to get people to be involved in our video? How are we going to pull this off? And we decided that we'd walk up to people. Actually, they decided that I would walk up to people. So I started walking around, and I'd walk up to people and be like, hey, how's your day in the park today? You want to come over and do this real quick? Because we're running low on people. And that's when I started to learn that to be involved in something like this, the making of this video, or to be involved in TEDx or TED, you have to have a spark, which is like my favorite thing because I've been seeing the word spark in a lot of the speeches, and it's just awesome that I was able to build my speech on it. The word spark doesn't mean that you can just walk into a room and light it up instantly with your world-class smile. It doesn't mean that I want you to go and start setting fire to things either. What it means is that it stands for something. Spark. Think about it. A spark. You have to be sincere about what you're doing. I walked up to a group of boys in the park that day, and I was like, oh, hey, what's up? This is what you're doing. This is what we're doing. Do you want to come over and help out? And they said, yeah, sure, sounds real cool. And I said, okay, what is your message? What do you want to change about the world? What do you want everybody to know? And one of them goes, let's legalize marijuana. I backed away from that one real quickly. Another thing that I learned that goes along with the spark is that you have to be passionate. I walked up to a lady and I asked her if she would want to do this, and she goes, I would love to. It's a great thing. I think it's terrific what you guys are doing, but I didn't shower today and I didn't put on any makeup. ew, but so so I thought to myself, her message could have totally been the fact that you don't need makeup to be beautiful. She could have said that to tons of teenage girls, but she didn't. I just did it, so. You have to be active. There was a man that came up to me in the park, and he goes, what you guys are doing is great, but don't expect it to catch on. Who says that to people? Why would you come up to me and be like, sorry, don't bother. Don't expect it to be something big. That leads me to the next thing. You have to be respectful. He wasn't very respectful, was he? Those boys that I walked up to that day, they didn't respect me. They didn't respect what I was doing. But I tried my best to respect them and their choice to not be a part of it. Now they're in my speech. The last component to the spark is kindness. Are you kind? Not just to people who are important to you, but just random people. Which is funny because the other day I went shopping with my sister, and there was a little old lady, just smaller than I am, so she was pretty small. And she was pushing her grocery cart along, and she looks up at me, and she smiled. And I smiled back at her, and she walked by, and my sister says, "Who's that?" I said, "I don't know. But it was pretty cool. Did you see that?" And she says, "Yeah, that was a pretty big smile. That illuminated the room." And I said, there's another thing for my speech right there. And that's the kind of spark that I'm talking about. And if you're sitting in front of me, or at home, or in another country, wherever you are, and you're thinking, I have the spark, honey, I have the spark. Or you know someone that has the spark, why aren't you doing something about it? Why aren't you acting on your spark? So, ladies and gentlemen, you can enjoy watching the change, but you can also enjoy being the change. Ladies and gentlemen, be the change.
Everywhere you look, you can write a book on what's going on. Everyone you know's got to read what they sow, be it right or wrong. Ghetto's flood, there's a hole up in the sky. Oil blood, tell me why, oh why? Terror struck, look at us, this isn't what we planned. You've gotta take a stand, don't forget that pride always goes before fall. Nobody knows till this freedom falls. As you sow, so shall you reap. Be the change that you want to see. Be the change that you want to see. Every now and then, you've gotta bend to the way it is. Far it be that isn't me, it's not the way, just 'cause they say it is. On TV, there's just no reality. All I hear is me and me and me. What they sold, I'm not buying anymore. No, 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 no more. Don't forget that pride always goes before fall. Nobody knows till the freedom falls. As you sow, so shall you reap. Be the change that you want to see. Be the change that you want to see. Yesterday, heard you say there was nothing you could do. Wonder if you feel the same, if it was happening to you. Don't forget that pride always goes before fall. And nobody knows till this freedom falls. As you sow, see. Oh yeah. Be the change that you want to see right now. Be the change that you want to see. The change that starts with you. Be the change that you want to see. 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 Oh yeah.